Welcome to our next video. We'll be talking about forward rates. What is a forward rate? How can we compute them? And how do we have to understand them? 6 months forward rate. Take a look at this. We are standing right now. We see into the future. And we're talking about semi-annual interest rates. We could also transfer them to annual interest rates, but we do it with semi-annual interest rates. At least here in this video, we'll be talking about semi-annual interest rates. So, right now, we know the interest rates to the next half year. So, if we take an amount of money, say X euros, X dollars, and we want to invest X dollars, we have the interest rate of Z sub 1. Z sub 1 is the interest rate from now on to the next 6 months. And we have another interest rate that goes from now to the end of the first year, which means 2 periods. It includes 2 periods, the first half year and the second half year. So Z sub 2 is an interest rate that includes 2 periods, that includes the first half year and the second half year. That goes from now to the end of the second period. Now, the question is the following. In order to get the same amount of money that we would have investing an amount of money and having an interest rate of Z sub 2 to the power of 2, because we have it on our bank account and we'll see for 2 months how it grows. Now, which forward rate gives us the same that will start at the end of the first half year and that will end at the end of the first year? Which means a forward rate is an interest rate that starts in the future and ends in the future, of course, too. In the future, even farther away. So here, this is an interest rate going into the future, and an even farther future is included in the forward rate. That's the meaning of forward rates. So now, this 1 plus Z sub 1 multiplied by 1 plus forward rate has to be equal to 1 plus Z sub 2 to the power of 2, because it includes 2 periods. Therefore, the formula goes this way. Forward rate, the 6-month forward rate from starting in 6 months and ending in 12 months is equal to this, is equal to the fraction with 1 plus Z sub 2 to the power of 2, written here in the numerator, written here because it includes an interest rate being valid twice, 2 half years, twice every period of 6 months, divided by, in the denominator, divided by 1 plus Z sub 1, because this is the interest rate starting now, ending in 6 months from now. This is the forward rate. Whew, that was a bit hard. Now it starts to get even harder, because there's going to be a confusion between semi-annual interest rates and annual interest rates, as is always the case with exams that you have to take. Let the 6 months bill spot rate be 4% and the 1 year bill spot rate be 4.4%. And you have to think about the following first. Are those 2 interest rates, are those annual interest rates or semi-annual interest rates? They are annual. They are written on an annual basis, and you have to check that first. If you don't do it, then you'll always be confused. I mean, you'll be confused anyway, right? But it's very important to first start with looking at, are they annual or are they semi-annual? They are both annual. Now, the 6 months bill spot rate is equal to 4%, which means as we have to insert the interest rate Z sub 2, which is the interest rate that is valid from now on for 2 periods. For 2 periods, we have to first make sure that since 4% is an annual interest rate, we have to know first the semi-annual interest rate, which of course is 2%. 4% divided by 2 equals 2%, so this one is the semi-annual, is the equivalent semi-annual rate that's equivalent to 4%. To the power of 2, because it's valid for 2 periods, divided by 1 plus, and now let's divide this by 2, divided here. So we have semi-annual here in the numerator, we have semi-annual interest rate in the denominator term, which gives us a semi-annual rate. The result is going to be semi-annual. It is semi-annual. It's an interest rate that starts in 6 months from now, in half a year from now, and that ends in 1 year from now. That is valid for 6 months. That is valid for 6 months. Anyway, we could calculate any forward rates. It doesn't have to be 6 months. It doesn't have to start in 6 months. It doesn't have to be valid for 6 months. But here it is a forward rate starting in 6 months and being valid for 6 months. Keep that in mind. It's very important. Let's just check it. We want to invest X dollars. We want to invest X dollars. And what's going to be the amount of money that we'll have 1 year from now? If we invest it right now, we get 2% in the first half year. In the first 6 months, we're going to get 2%, which means we multiply X, the amount of X, with 1.02. And then, after the first half year, we have this. After the first half year, we have this. We have to again multiply. We have to again multiply with this, because this is the forward rate. This is the forward rate that starts at the end of the 6th month and that will last for another 6 months. Which means, all in all, after a year, we have this amount of money. This is the amount of money that we're going to have after 1 year. It must be equal. It should be equal. It must be equal. We'll check if it is equal to just investing the amount of X euros, X dollars on our bank account and getting 2.2% per half year twice, because it's going to be reinvested after half a year. And now just type in your handheld computer and see if or not it's the same. It should be 1 point. Just check it now. Otherwise you won't see if I cheat you. Maybe I do. I don't know. 1.0204. And it's 3 times 4, isn't it? 444. And what is it there? It's an 8. So anyway, this is the same as this. So after all, the result is right. The result is right because as we have now shown, there's no difference. There is no difference. We are indifferent with those 2 alternatives. With first putting our money into the bank account and just see what happens. In the first half year, we get 2.2% in the second, and the same with the second half year. And it should be, and it is the same as putting this on our bank account for 2% in the first half year and let the money have an interest rate of forward rate in the second half year, which will give us the same. That's important to understand concerning forward rates. Thank you for watching.